Have you ever had fear for something? Have you ever had that feeling where you're very afraid of something, either to lose somebody or either to lose something? Welcome to this video. Today I wanted to share some experience with you that destructed my life for a long time. This is what I call the four self-destructive behaviors that all of us we experience in our life. I know there's more self-destructive behaviors, but I wanted to share four with you that destructed my life for a long time. The number one behavior that really destructed my life for a long time, it's fear. Have you ever had fear to lose somebody or to lose something in your life? Have you ever had that feeling where you're thinking about that person or maybe that job? You're really afraid to lose something. Did you know that that feeling really destruct your life? Have you ever think about it? If you ever think about it, let me tell you my experience, how those things destructed my life for a long time. There was a time where I was afraid. I really had a fear to confront myself. I didn't know for a long time how confronting myself, how talking to me, there was an enemy that I never knew that it was me. It was that voice that was inside of me that I wanted to confront for a long time ago. And I never thought that confronting myself, that voice inside of me, that voice that talks to you all the time, that tells you something, tells you that you're not enough, that maybe you'll lose your job because you're not doing a good job, maybe. Even though if you're doing a good job, but sometimes that little voice inside of you, interior voice, that's the number one fear I had for a long time, and it destructed my life. And how it did destructed my life, it's because that voice inside of me talks to me every day. It's like when you're driving, you talk to yourself and you tell yourself, or maybe that voice talks to you and tells you that you might lose your job, you might lose somebody, material things. Those fears destructs your life if you don't control it. It destructed mine for a long time. And luckily, I started to look for information and get to know myself, and I made a decision to study more, and now I became a professional on emotional intelligence and positive psychology. And that's when I found myself, and that's when I understand how those things destructed my life. And now that I know how to control those things, not that I never experienced those feelings anymore, but now that I control, now when those emotions presents, I can control it. I know where it takes me, so I try to do something else, something different to control those emotions and not took over me and not taking over me anymore. Now I do different things. For example, when I feel that fear now, I know it's just something that my mind it's thinking. I know it's not going to happen. A study revealed that 90% of what we think is not going to happen in real life. Sometimes our minds start thinking about that fear, whatever you fear about, it's not going to happen. And for a long time, I thought, when my mind starts thinking about that job, about that somebody, or about anything that I'm going to lose, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. For a long time, like I said, it did destruct my life because I thought always thinking about that fear. It's like an emotion that you feel, you're very afraid. But let me tell you, 90% of the things that you think it's not going to happen. So that's the first one, the first self-destructive behavior that will destruct your life if you don't pay attention. If you don't pay attention to how you control those emotions, because it's an emotion. It's just an emotion. So be careful with that. It destructed mine for a long time, so that's why I'm sharing my experience with you. And so that's the number one self-destructive behavior. So number two, it's eating without conscience. Sometimes when we don't have anything to do, or maybe if you're at home alone, sometimes you want to eat. You want to eat something, but you're not eating without conscience. So you need to ask yourself, are you hungry? Or you just want to eat something just because you're boring or you're not doing anything. Those things, let me tell you, I used to a long time ago, you know, when I'm at home by myself, I used to just go to the kitchen and just eat something. Or maybe I'm on my way to go to a game, or to go whatever you want to go. But just that, you know, that thinking, when you say, oh, I want to eat something, and you're eating without conscience. Did you know how let me ask you this, have you asked yourself how that will destruct you, how will destruct your life? Eating without conscience is you're not thinking. Ask yourself, are you hungry? That's how we educate ourselves. That's how I educate myself. When I wanted to eat something, am I hungry? Or just I want a snack, or I wanted something, you know, because it's that emotion. It's the moment you're living. So if you don't pay attention to that, sometimes it will take you to where, you know, sometimes we speed the disease in our life sometimes. And let me tell you a story about a guy that did ask me one time, and he said, because I was wearing a jersey, because I play soccer, so he asked me if I play sport, and I said yes, I do play sport. And then he said, do you go to do some laps every day? What do you do? And I said, yeah. And then he laughed at me and he said, look at me, look at my belly. And then he said, did you know I don't care about those stuffs? I don't care doing anything. I don't care about doing sport. I don't care about doing laps or anything, any exercise. That's not for me. All I do is eat, and eat. When I feel I'm boring, I eat too much, and that's how I live my life. And I thought, that's not eating without conscience, because we're speeding up the diseases. And then he said, I know I'm gonna die one day. I know I'm gonna die, but you know, that's why I eat without conscience. You know, if I die, why not enjoy the food? Why not enjoy everything? You know, anything that I want to eat, why not? But I said, maybe we're speeding up the disease in our life. I know we're gonna die. I know we're gonna die one day. Yes, but I think. But what do you think? But I think, you know, if we eat if we eat with conscience, if we realize, are we hungry, or we just eating because maybe it's anxiety. I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know, just think about it. Think about how many times you're eating. And then what do you eat too? That's one of the things that helped me to control those emotions, because sometimes I was like afraid. My fear, it was, you know, maybe to live a life that I didn't want, maybe to just, you know, go without limit, if that makes sense. So that's the number two self-destructive behavior. Number one, do you remember what's number one? So that's the number two. Number two, it's eating without conscience. Okay, so that's number one. It's I'm gonna ask you again, what is number one? If you don't remember these things, please write it down, because I promise you it's gonna help you. It did help me to be where I'm at today. I'm living a better life, and this is the purpose of our video. It's to share this experience with you so you can live a better life. Because trust me, I have experienced those self-destructive behaviors. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there are more, but these 4 self-destructive behaviors that destructed my life for a long time ago. And now let's talk about the third one, which is the self-esteem. Sometimes we are begging that people loves us. We're begging that, you know, people to love us. And sometimes we change, you know, sometimes we want to fit in a team. Sometimes we're begging that they're gonna accept us in that team or in that group of people. And sometimes we even change ourselves, like our attitudes, the way we dress, the way we comb our hair, you know, just everything, just because we're begging that people loves us. Have you asked yourself if that's you, if that's how you want to live? Trust me, long time ago, when I wanted to be part of a group, you know, in high school, trust me, I thought about changing, you know, the way I dress, the way, you know, I eat sometimes, or the way, you know, the way I play, whatever, or even in a job. You know, if you have a job that you wanted to be accepted, you wanted to be part of the group, sometimes even, but be careful, because those things, it can change the way you think too. Maybe that's not how you think. Maybe there was I can't remember his name, but there was a motivational speaker, professional motivational speaker, said one day that if you follow people, the way they do things, the way they think, the way they dress, you never know if those people, they're going to a disaster. So be careful. Be careful where, you know, if you're following people just because the way they dress, just because you want to fit in that group, just because you want to get that job, or you want to be part of that group. Just be careful with that. And that's, like I said, that's the third one, the third destructive, self-destructive behavior. It destructed my life for a long time. So that's the third one. So the fourth one I wanted to talk to you about, it's the pursuit of happiness. It's like the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, but in this case, it's a real life. We're pursuing happiness sometimes with material things. Sometimes we think that happiness, it's when we have a new car, and, you know, a new cell phone, a new house, a new whatever you're thinking. Sometimes we're looking for happiness. We want to supplement happiness with material things like cars, like money. But let me tell you something, with my experience, and for a long time ago, I wanted to get to be somebody that, you know, will have material things, you know, just like everybody else. But I realized one day that that's not happiness. Happiness, for me, at least for me, it might be different for you, but for me, it's just, you know, I have my family. We enjoy, you know, going to the nature. We enjoy going out together, just to go by the lake and sit down and talk about what we did today, what we have. We don't have, we're not rich, but we're rich because we have ourselves. I have my wife, I have my kids, and I have what I need in life. What I need in life is just, you know, what I have. It's enough for me. It's enough for me. I can live a better life, and it's not material things. So be careful with those things. So I wanted to give you some tips too today. I know it can help you. It's just, if there's number one tip, it's that if there's something that hurt you when you were a kid, please eliminate that. Eliminate it now before it can hurt you more and more. There's a lot of things that, you know, we carry with us. Even if it's somebody hurts you, even if something bad happened to you before, please eliminate that in your life. That's the number one tip. So, you know, to live a better life. And number two, it's for a long time ago, I never understood why I reacted the way I reacted to confront a problem. And sometimes it was the way I was raised, maybe. And so I took a picture of me and looked at the picture and said, what if I take care of you now? You know, I looked at myself as a little kid, what I wanted to do in life, how I wanted to live my life. Do I want a better life? Because I can do it now. So eliminate those things that destructs your life. And my name is Ismael Vasquez, and it was an honor, it was a pleasure to be with you today. And we'll see you at the next video, and I'll share more experience with you. And I know this, it will help you to live a better life.